Explain like I'm 5 how people swim in water. Hi guys, I never learned to swim as a child. And I've signed up for adult swim lessons soon. Something I think will help me prepare for the lessons is I don't know the mechanics physics behind the motion. So I'm asking. 1. How do people float in water and why is it crucial to swimming? 2. How do people actually move from point A to B in water while swimming? Edit. Thanks so much to all who have responded with answers, tips, advice, and encouragement. Trying to read through all your helpful answers. Just to reassure you a bit. The first thing they do in the swimming lessons won't be swimming laps, it'll probably just be treading water or practicing floating while holding the side. Stuff like that. They'll be used to teaching people who can't swim. I took adult swim lessons and they were great. The instructor definitely understood that swimming can be a bit intimidating as an adult, and she was super kind and patient. By the end of my lesson series, one could comfortably swim lanes in 3 different types of strokes. Although not very fast, and dive. Even more importantly, I felt like I could swim lanes for practice without being intimidated. I hope you have the same good experience. I got goggles and partway through I got a nose clip, and that helped me a lot. It sounds like the fact that you don't understand the mechanics physics of swimming is causing you more anxiety than might be useful. Try this thought experiment. Do you drive? Do you understand exactly how a car runs? I'm thinking probably not. I sure don't. But I am a good driver because I learned how to do it. All sorts of people learn to swim. It may be difficult and scary at first, but you can do it. First off, humans are naturally buoyant. Hold your breath and relax and you'll float on the water like a cork. Always remember you can float on your back if you're tired. It's a lifesaver. Second, much of swimming is pushing the water one way so you move the other way. There's lots of variations on this, such as the front crawl and breaststroke. Good for you for signing up for lessons. The instructor will go step by step, little by little, and start off in the shallow end. You will gain confidence and skills as time goes on. And I hope you will enjoy swimming too. I have nothing to add that other people haven't said, but this is super wholesome. Good on you for learning something new. You're gonna love the water in no time. Picture a bird flying. Same thing. They flatten the wing when they push. But they collapse it on the way back up before the next push. Swimming is like flying in zero gravity with a thick atmosphere. You can control your buoyance with how much breath you take into your lungs. Don't be intimidated. I think you are overthinking a bit. Most children learning to swim don't have the slightest clue what physics even is. Understanding the mechanics isn't going to help, I'm afraid. Good luck to you. Congrats on choosing to make this monumental step to your personal safety. The amount of people who drown because they never took lessons but decide boating is a good vacation idea is astounding. Good luck, you got this. I'm really proud of you and so excited for your first day. You're going to do great. Opus 90 of swimming is just not being scared. You will float naturally, and with a full breath you will find it hard to not float. People drown because they panic and put themselves in a position where they will be more likely to sink somewhat straight up and hands up and then exhale in fear, which then makes it way easier to sink. Just try and relax and don't be afraid of what's just basically a giant bath and you'll be fine. The only thing we do should be leaving the fear of water, especially about underwater depth. If you just hold your breath enough, you can do wonder. As someone who learned how to swim proficiently as an adult. Good for you OP for wanting to learn. I truly believe that everyone should learn how to swim. These are one of the basic skills that everyone should learn. You never know when you'll be in open water and need this skill. Your body displaces water. This displacement allows you to float without paddling. Because your body is less dense than the water nearby. It's why giant metal battleships don't sink. Another way to help yourself stay afloat is paddling. Just like in a boat, where you use the paddle to move around by resistance to the water. Your hands and feet do the same thing. So use your hands and feet like boat paddles to move. Float like a giant steel battleship. Use your limbs to push water in the opposite direction that you want to go, and physics will do the rest. Try this: lay on your back and try and float on the top of the water. You will begin to sink. Then fill your lungs with air and try and float in your back. If you relax, it will be real easy. 3 easy things to remember. 1. Deep breath in and hold the air in your lungs to float. Empty your lungs to sink. 2. Scissor kick your legs. 3. To move in a direction. Scoop the water with your hands in the opposite direction. It's actually hard to stay at the bottom of a pool or the ocean when scuba diving. X200B. Think of your lungs as a balloon. It's going to make your body float. In order to sink without trying to swim downwards, you actually have to expel the air in your lungs. Which is hard. And divers wear weights to make sinking easier. Easiest way to float is to lay fully back and spread like a starfish. There is not one single person on Earth who will sink like this unless they have missing limbs. It's a little uncomfortable at first, but you need to lay your head back fully like if you're on a bed. The water might get into your ear, but you will 100% float. If you inhale deeply and hold your breath, then you turn into a giant floating balloon. Next, you will learn how to position your body to float efficiently and breath properly. You'll do fine. For me, the most important thing was learning to exhale underwater. If you try holding your breath underwater, then you will end up pretty stressed out. But if you exhale underwater, then you will be ready to inhale when you surface instead of holding your breath underwater and having to do a very fast exhale and inhale once you surface. 1. Humans naturally float. Air in our lungs. Plus the density of our bodies. Incredibly muscular people don't float so well as muscles are more dense. Floating mostly makes things easier since you just need to propel yourself. 2. Newton's third law. Equal opposite reaction. Push water backwards. Be pushed forwards. From memory teaching. You'll likely start in waist-chest high water and learn how to float before learning the basics. Remember to breathe normally while trying to float. A lot of your buoyancy comes from the air in your lungs. I've seen people panic and spit all their air out because some water gets in their face. No air in lungs sink. Divers use this to help balance their bodies while they free dive. I've also had many people say I sink like a rock, and the second they get in the water, they exhale all their air. Then they sink like a rock. Get them to calm down and take a deep breath. Bam, they float. Unless they are like one body fat. Sorry. You going down. Floating is essential in learning how to swim. Once you've learned how to float, it's nearly impossible to sink on the water. It's like throwing balloon into a pool and watch them float above the water because it has air inside it. Much like our lungs is filled with air, so naturally we float.